Hello, everybody, and welcome to DraftKings. That's right, my name is Tyrone and I am your host. And this is week 6 of the English Premier League. We are looking over the weekend fixtures. We've been scurrying through, seeing the players that probably suit us best for our teams. That's right, because we're going to put together our 8-man team. We're going to set them out against the world, against each other, and see if we can win prizes. That's right, you can win big. But I'll get to more of that later. Right, this is how it works. We have got 8 men to select. That's a goalkeeper, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, 2 strikers, and then a utility player. Again, I'll explain that a little bit later. But let's work out who's picked what. And that's right, it's a goalkeeper first. I'm going to start with Jamie. Jamie, who's your goalkeeper this week and why?
I've gone for Hugo Lloris of Spurs, 5,400. They're kind of taking up Arsenal's mantle of like 1-0 every single week. It's now like 1-0 to the Spurs almost. Sorry. But yeah, most clean sheets in the league so far. They've got 3. No one else has got that many. He doesn't make many saves, which worries me a little bit. But I think you're going to get the win and clean sheet combo here. So you'll get 10 points because they're playing Borough, and Borough are terrible.
They're not good.
That's it.
I understand. It's a lot of money, though. A lot of money for a goalkeeper. Me, I personally try and keep my goalkeeper choice around the 4s.
I don't think he's the most expensive this week, though. So
no, he's not. He's not.
I think really is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see who's picked next. I mean, let's go with Edo. Edo, our European correspondent there. Edo, who's your goalkeeper?
Not Mignolet. No, it's the Kalenberg of Everton. Considering that I criticised him earlier this season, I said I didn't believe he was a long-term solution. He was too error-prone. Yeah, well, I was wrong. He's playing really well, and they're playing Bournemouth, who I think are a bit too inaccurate, a bit too profligate up front.
Yes.
And Everton have really shut teams down this season. They've you know, who knew that players would buy in once Roberto Martinez left? Who knew?
Okay,
5,200.
Stop right there.
Get started,
Stop right there. I said last week very, very, very clearly
There's a veto.
that there is to be no mention of Roberto Martinez on this show ever again, and you've managed to break it within a minute, Edo. You're on thin ice, my friend. That's all I'm going to say. I will say this about Everton. I'll say this about Everton very quickly. We've got to get for our teams, but other than Tottenham, who they played, I am not falling for it just yet, the whole Everton Sargent thing. But that's something to think about. But they are playing Bournemouth this week, and therefore I would urge picking Everton players if you can. So I can't even say his name.
The Kalenberg.
Kalenberg is your goalkeeper.
Martin Kalenberg.
How much does he cost?
5,200.
Right,
Good
okay,
clean sheet
quite
value.
pricey now. Here we go, we've got a special guest this week. That's right, it's Darius Davis has replaced Andy Davis, who, hello Andy. Andy is currently in the west coast of America, and he's on a US sports fact-finding mission, and he'll be back in a few weeks to tell us everything he found out about US sports. That's right, everybody. But we've got Darius Davis, stand-up comedian, Arsenal fan. Who is your goalkeeper this week?
I've gone for Foster from West Bromwich Albion. They're playing Stoke. Stoke are terrible at the moment, and West Bromwich Albion are doing really well. So he costs 4,700. I can't see Stoke scoring. I see West Brom attacking a lot. So I think he's going to get clean sheet and the win, 10 points. And he's a good price, 4,700.
Real good thinking. I would say that would be the goalkeeper I'd go for out of the 3 that I've heard of. And let's go straight into defenders. Who's your 2 defenders, Edo, and why?
I'm a fan of that pick. That would have saved me 500. I like that. I'm a big fan. 2 defenders. I've gone cheap. George Friend, 4,200. Middlesbrough. And I don't know why I said that in the Dutch accent. And Joel Matip of Liverpool. Joel Matip is only 3,000, but I think he's good on dead balls. And Hull have really been misfiring of late. Diamande and Hernandez, I think, are a good duo going forward. But at the moment, they're missing sitters. I'm not such a big fan, so I think there's a clean sheet in there as well. And at that kind of price, good. George Friend will put in crosses. He'll get in tackles. He'll be facing, a very enterprising Tottenham side, but not necessarily the fastest side either. So interceptions, tackles, crosses, I think it will all add up to 7 or 8 points. For someone who's that price, I'm quite happy.
Not too bad at all. Okay, so Jamie, who are your 2 defenders and why?
I've gone back to Everton. I've gone Seamus Coleman.
Oh,
Good pick.
4,800. I think they're the second best defence at the moment behind Spurs in the league. You do make a good point. They haven't really played anyone yet.
No.
But I still like them. 13.5 fantasy points per game for Everton this season. There is a game in there that he had for Ireland, which is what's bringing his total down a bit. And he's the 10th highest priced defender on there at the moment, which I think makes him quite cheap, because if you've got 9 players ahead of him, there's Walker and Milner are above 6,000 this week.
Milner's 6,600.
6,600, James Milner. Takes all the set pieces, but it's a huge price. Alongside him, I've gone for Scott Dan, 3,800. Homer pick, I know, but he's been immense for Palace so far this season. 2 goals already. No defender scored more goals than him since the beginning of last season. in the Premier League, and he is almost definitely our top scorer over that run, which shows how poor we are up front. He may be injured. He came off last night with a hamstring injury. If he is, I'll switch him out, and if he is, I'm very worried about our back four because I think it means Zeki Fryers is going to play, which does not fill me with a lot of confidence.
Okay, somehow we've started talking about Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
As you may know, he is a Crystal Palace fan.
Right,
Okay, interesting point you made there. If there is any doubt on any particular player, you've got right up until kickoff to transfer that guy out and get a new guy in. That's one of the best things about DraftKings. And Darius Davis, your defenders and why?
I've chosen Koscielny for Arsenal because I was surprised to see he's only 3,800.
Well, that's because he's a centre-back. That's a reason.
Well, I think, but the thing is with Koscielny, I think Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet, and he goes up for corners and he scores a lot, and he's going for a little rich vein of form. So he's only 3,800. I needed a cheap pick, and I thought he'd do the job. Then to make some points, I've chosen Kyle Walker for Tottenham. He's 6,000. He's a bit more expensive, but it's Tottenham versus Middlesbrough. He attacks a lot, gets down the wing, puts crosses in, and every now and then he might pop up with a goal, but I think he's going to get maybe an assist or two. So those are my defenders.
Good logic, love it. Okay, now we're on to midfielders. That's right, it's midfielders. I'm going to start with you, Jamie. Jamie, who are your two midfielders and why? Have you gone big?
I think you know what's coming here.
I'm going to guess that the initials AT might come up.
Yes, 8,800.
Okay.
Andros Townsend, he's that much
Wow.
money. How do you
Yes.
price him that high? I don't know. Because he scores points every week.
He scores points every
He
week.
scores more points on average than Kevin De Bruyne.
Amazing. How? The logic of DraftKings, everybody. It's one of the best things about us.
That's the happiest I've been this. We won 4-1. Happiest I've been this season was Andros Townsend scoring a goal because he tries so bloody hard every single game. Makes tackles, gets loads of DraftKings points, and finally scored a goal. Should have had an assist as well. He's my favourite Palace player at the moment, and I think very cash game friendly this week because he'll score you loads more points again because Palace are playing Sunderland, and it's the easiest game in the league, probably apart from Stoke, who we played last week, and Middlesbrough, who we played the week before. So it's a nice little run.
That is.
Alongside him, Adam Lallana. I think it's easy points at the moment. 6,200. He's a lot cheaper than your Mane, Coutinho, Firmino. Had a very quiet day against Chelsea, but he's had double-digit fantasy points 3 of the 5 games so far in the Premier League, and I see him having a good game against Hull.
Yeah, and I agree. I'll just quickly tell you, because this will interest you, my two midfielders this week is Andros Townsend, and I've also gone for Jason Puncheon actually as well. I've gone for a stack. I've gone for a Palace stack in my midfield. But Darius,
That's exciting.
that is exciting. That is very exciting. Darius, who's your midfielders and why?
I've gone for Firmino from Liverpool. He's 7,600. I know he's been injured, but I think he come in. He's been.
He came on in the League Cup the other day.
Yes,
didn't
I think
he?
he's going to come back. He's
Yeah.
dominant as well. They're playing Hull, so I think he'll have a good performance. And I also chose Ross Barkley because Everton have been doing well. I can't tell you how much he's cost because I've accidentally just deleted him from my team. But I think he's gonna. He was about 7,000 something. I think Everton are on a good run as well. So that's a solid midfield.
Yes, indeed.
I think that's going to get me some points.
I think it is. And finally, your midfield, Edo.
Same things happened to me, which is why I haven't got Solomon Rondon's price, but that's for later. Anyway, two midfielders, Nasser Chadli and Heung-min Son. Not very original since they both scored recently, but they both cost under 6,000 for players who can contribute goals. And the thing about Son is he was about to leave in summer, and then apparently Pochettino convinced him otherwise. And the thing is, Son was actually, before this weekend, he had 4 goals in as many Premier League appearances. So he's starting to, I mean, he's not the best player in the world, and he'll be profligate, he'll miss dribbles, but, puts crosses in, has been scoring goals.
To be fair, I watched him against Sunderland last week, and he was a deserved man of the match. I mean, he was everywhere, and the engine on that guy was phenomenal. So I think that's quite a good choice.
And that's Barragan's wing as well. And Barragan is, Barragan, so good luck to him. And, Nasser Chadli's playing... Yeah.
I like Barragan, mate.
No, I like him too, but...
I don't like Friend. He's no friend of mine.
He's not... Dude.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay,
shame.
you've also picked Chadli. Explain why. I
He's
think
playing
I think
Stoke
I know.
City.
Yep.
That's what we need. And also the fact that they've both scored, don't mess with the streak. And if they're this sort of cheap, they're this cheap for a reason. I mean, obviously they're not sort of top range, but you can get value out of these guys.
Chadli's one of those ex-Spurs players that's getting a lot of love at his new club.
DraftKings is just Spurs players.
Yeah, it's so it seems, because Kapuri at Watford is another one.
See Andre Yedlin, our boy.
If only he was still around.
Kyle Norton.
But Chadli, very, very good choice. So that is your midfield.
Jermaine
Darius, I'm moving straight on to you. This is your strikers. Your strikers, my friend, who are they and why?
I've chosen Kevin De Bruyne because I think he's dominating the league at the moment, and Sturridge for Liverpool because Liverpool versus Hull. He's got them playing well.
It's whether he plays, though,
I
isn't
really
it?
like that. He's so cheap this week. I really
Yeah,
like it.
I'm surprised at the cost, so that's why I put them in.
Yeah, and I think it's worth it for the budget. It's a real good sort of budget pick, I would say, but there is the risk on whether he plays or not. And so keep your eye on that. That's what I would say to DraftKings fans. Keep your eye on that right up to kickoff. You can always take him out if he is on the bench or left out completely. But I understand your logic, Darius. It's very good, very cheap this week. Edo, yourself, my friend, who are your strikers?
Well, this is not very. I've gone for Aguero as well, 10,500, and yeah, I mean he's playing Swansea, who I have big doubts about. I don't know how I talked myself into being positive about Matt and Fernandes, saying, well, they've been playing together for years, but there's a reason why Ashley Williams was playing and not Matt or Fernandes for that matter. And yeah, all of a sudden now they're together. They've made a hash of things. I mean, they couldn't even really lock the game against Chelsea when they went 2-1 up. Chelsea still found a way through, and a lot of other teams have as well. So I think that Aguero is going to have an absolute screamer. There's that 3-game suspension. I don't really like going into player psychology a lot, but you know he won't be happy that.
I'm gonna make this easy for you. Sergio Aguero is one of the best strikers in the world.
In the world.
And he's easily the best striker in the Premier League, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The man is on absolute flames at the moment. He proved it in the Champions League, and now he's back in the Premier League after a worthy suspension. He's hungry, and I think he's going to rip up the bits. I concur with you. I picked him also.
Right.
So there we go.
Yours was better. I wish I'd done yours. And the other one, Romelu Lukaku, hit a nice hat-trick, scored last week. You know, obviously, once again, the conversion, you know, for transition from Roberto Martinez to current manager Ronald Koeman. It is just incredible, really. The Benelux connection lives on. And no, I mean, Lukaku, the thing is, he's fit now. This is important because Koeman at the start of the season did say his players weren't fit. And all of a sudden, the Belgian looks good again. He does seem to be working really well with the rest of the midfield as well. He's fitting into that system. Some people had doubts whether really Koeman wanted to have him there even. And that's gone. That's gone.
This weekend, I'm going to say a good reason to pick Lukaku is that he's playing Bournemouth. So guys, we're talking about players that are playing this weekend. I mean, if Lukaku was playing against the, I don't know, say the Man City defence next week, I probably wouldn't be as confident in picking him. But he's playing Bournemouth, guys, and Bournemouth are sucking eggs at the moment and not doing very, very good.
Nope.
So great choice there. And finally, Jamie, your strikers. Who have you picked and why?
I've gone 2 midfielders just to take advantage of the M/F position.
Ooh, great feature.
I've gone Kevin De Bruyne, 10,100. I don't really think I need to say anything about him now. He's best player in the Premier League for me right now.
Indeed.
I think he's just edging out a lot of others. I mean, he hasn't got as many fantasy points per game as Andros Townsend, but
Who could?
I mean, I'll stick him in my lineup anyway.
Yes,
Another soft match this week for them, and yeah, all weeks double-digit points, 3.6 shots per game. I could go on. I've got a massive list of stuff, but
I think we all know the
yeah,
quality of
exactly,
De
we all
Bruyne.
know. And then Nasser Chadli, 5,700. I've picked him, I think, 2 weeks in a row now. I don't really like picking him because I don't really like him as a player, but he seems to be getting lots of points.
He's enjoying his football, and he's getting a
but
lot of love.
I don't enjoy
and-
Tony Pulis very much.
I know, but you've got to look beyond the fact that you don't
Yeah.
like the manager.
I think they're playing the worst team in the league as well. So
Yeah.
I think the only down thing on this one is he's going to be very popular at that price. At 5,700, and you may see that every single person in your contest has him,
It's
but you have
possible.
no advantage over
It's possible,
anyone
but unless we're going to move on to the utility player,
Yeah.
I would like to think there's another Aguero in one of these picks because I just think it'd be foolish not to pick him. He's certainly in my team. So the utility player, for those of you that don't know, basically you've seen us pick a goalkeeper, pick 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 2 strikers. There's a space in the team for one more. It's a utility player. That's right. It can be a player from any position with your remaining budget. So I'm going to start with Edo. Edo, who's your utility player and why?
Solomon Rondon, West Bromwich Albion. I believe his price is 6,700, but it's definitely under 7, which I think is brilliant for a guy who can pop up at any time and score. So he's playing against Stoke. Their defence does not look good. He's not being coached by Roberto Martinez. That's also a very good reason.
It's getting tiring now.
Yeah, no. And also the fact that he's got Shadley there now. You've got, Field doesn't look great, but you've got Shadley, you've got Phillips, you've got Berahino. Galloway looks half decent going forward. So that entire team does seem to be looking, looks a little bit better. Stoke are weak. They'll be caught on the counter like they have been so far at home. I mean, yeah, they played much better teams. They played Chelsea and City. Is it Chelsea? Is it Tottenham? Sorry. But yeah, I just don't trust the Stoke defence at all. So I think Rondon's going to pop up here.
Okay, fair enough. For everyone out there, we've got to see what happens with Stoke because at some point it's got to turn round. We've seen this before. They can't keep getting smacked 4-0, but hey, that remains to be seen. Okay, let's go to Jamie. Jamie, who's your utility player and why?
I gone Joe Allen. of
Joe Allen.
Yeah. The
Oh.
Welsh Pirlo.
Now, the Welsh Pirlo,
Yes.
you've got to justify this because he has not looked good.
He has looked good.
Really?
I counted that with that he has looked good. He was very good against Palace last weekend. Me and my dad stood there and we were like, there's only one player on their team who looks like doing anything, and it was Joe Allen. He looked a class apart compared to the rest of them. He even looked better than a lot of the Palace team. He just had no help. He's also taking corners because Shaqiri's injured, and that's a big reason why they're doing so badly.
Oh, yeah.
Shaqiri's not there. He's their best player. Throwing the tackles and interception, I think if you get a goal and an assist here, he'll be a cracking pick for a GPP contest, and you could end up winning a lot of money if you get on the back of Allen and he actually does something at 4,800.
4,800, okay, so that's a pretty damn good price for a man, and I feel educated now, because Joe Allen I've just completely been overlooking, so thank you, Jamie. And finally, Darius Davies, who's your utility player?
I've gone for Lovren from Liverpool, the playing Hull. I think he'd pop up with an assist or a goal, and he fitted into my budget.
Let's be honest here. Basically, it's all the money you had left.
It's all the money I had left that I put him in, but I think he's a good pick considering the money that I had left. He's a good all-out, pick. Yeah, so
Good selection. Why not? You never know. He did score against Chelsea last week. Maybe he's got goal fever and he'll do it again. We'll find out. We'll see. Unlikely. So let's have a look at our teams, everyone. Let's start with Darius. This is Darius's 8-man lineup. You can see there's Ben Foster, then he's got Koscielny, Kyle Walker, good choice. Then he's got Big Ross Barkley, Firmino is back from injury, Kevin De Bruyne, the best player in the league. Daniel Sturridge, will he or will he not? We shall find out. Again, it's never too late to switch a player out and get another player in. And then finally, he's gone for Dejan Lovren, the Liverpudlian defender. He's not Liverpudlian, he plays for Liverpool, he's not from Liverpool at all. Anyway, let's move on to Edo. Edo's 8-man team there we go. It's Sketlenberg in goal. We've got George Friend. Yeah, that's nice and interesting. Matip, Nasser Chadli, yeah, a man on fire. And then we've got Son there for Spurs, all-action hero at the moment. Then Aguero, the best striker in the league by far. Next to him, not the best striker in the league, but a bully, and he's playing Bournemouth. That's Lukaku, who knows how he'll do. And then we've got Rondon there as the utility player, a lot of strikers. And finally, Jamie's team. Here we go, Hugo Lloris, a very expensive pick there. So let's see if that will pan out. I'm sure it will. Only playing Middlesbrough. Then we've got Seamus Coleman. Yes, an action fullback there. That's a good choice. Scott Dan, who keeps scoring for fun. One of the best headers of the ball in the league. Lallana, a form player there in the midfield. And next to the inexplicable Andros Townsend. It's inexplicable because he's not that good, but my God, he's great at DraftKings. Look at that, 17.8. That's an amazing average. He just keeps peppering shots in, regardless of where the ball ends up. Then we've got Kevin De Bruyne, also at the mid as a striker there, but for good reason. His assist rate is the best in Europe in the last calendar year. Next to him, it is Nasser Chadli. That's right, a form player against the worst defence in the league. That's right, it's Stoke. And finally, same match, we have got Stokes Joe Allen as the utility player. And there we go, everybody. Those are our picks. Now, I can tell you for a fact that we have our own little mini league. And in fact, I'm doing a head-to-head with young Darius here. And there's no way you're going to beat me. We put a little wager on it. Put a little wager in booze, not cash, because I don't think I'm allowed to bet. But all the same, we're doing that. You can do it too. You can play each other. You can play strangers. You can even play us if you download the DraftKings app. You've got to do that now, guys. Get it onto your phone. Get it onto your tablet. Get it onto your home computer. You know what you can do. That's right. You can win big. Welcome to the big time.